Hey, this is Michael Ostro, and I wanted to talk about the journey that I've been on recently. And I think this is a journey that we all go on. And it's just a journey to figure out what means most to us in life. I think we're always thinking about it. Maybe there's times that we don't think about it. Maybe when we're just working really hard or we're just so engulfed in some kind of activity, which can be absolutely wonderful. But during a time like now, when COVID's going on, when we're stuck in our homes, maybe some people are doing their regular jobs, but if you are spending a lot more time doing nothing, so more time doing less, yeah, that's what I should say, more time doing less. If you're spending more time just in your own head, in your own thoughts, there is a lot that can go on inside your own head. One of the things that can happen is constant thoughts about external circumstances, maybe things that cause anxiety. So if you're somebody that has a lot of anxiety, or if you've had anxiety during COVID, what that anxiety is likely coming from are external circumstances that are unlikely to occur. So it is your brain coming up with some kind of scenario that you believe could happen. When you replay the scenario, you begin to get deeper and deeper into that thought, believing it is true, believing that it could possibly happen. And the more you believe that could possibly happen, the more anxiety you're going to get about it. So the reason this is happening is when you are working constantly, or if you're constantly doing something, then you don't have time to be in your own thoughts. You know you have to do this, you know you have to do the next thing, you have to do the next thing. You're just moving forwards. So you're not just only in your own head. So as well, when you're only in your own head, you can have more negative thoughts about your surroundings. So where we're saying anxiety or something like that, you can have negative thoughts towards somebody. Like if you were not as busy as typical, you could be like, well, why isn't that person reaching back out to me? Well, I need to make sure, I'm talking to them, but like they're not communicating the same way. But really it's not much has changed. It's just that you have more time and you're going through these thoughts more. So typically if you're very busy and maybe you'd only text or talk to that person at night or maybe every couple of days, and that just seemed normal. Now that you have so much more time in your own head constantly thinking about this, you're gonna start thinking, well, what if they're doing this? Well, why if they didn't do that? And wow, all of a sudden you have a lot of anxiety and a lot of negative thoughts that start to occur. And you can have these negative thoughts and anxiety about various things. So this journey, these thoughts I'm trying to go through right now are, why am I having these and how can I avoid having them? What does my mind truly want to think about? Because your mind doesn't want to think about negative thoughts. You don't want to have anxiety all the time. That's not something you desire, but it happens. And I'm a person that can get anxious and I can have negative thoughts. Although there's a lot of people that are like, wait, you have negative thoughts? Yes, everyone has negative thoughts. And I might smile through them and I might say, hey, but yes, I have negative thoughts. And yes, I do have anxiety. I don't have social anxiety though. I love being around people. And they're all different kinds of anxiety. So in order to figure out myself better, I have been trying to be alone in my own head more and then work through my thoughts. In order to work through my thoughts, I need to make sure my mind isn't constantly moving. To do that, I have started meditating, and that has drastically changed things. I didn't meditate before. As I'm starting to talk to a lot of successful people, I'm realizing how many people actually do meditate. And just as a very quick thing for what meditation is, you have all these thoughts, all this talk in your head constantly. Meditation takes you out of all those thoughts and brings you back so that you can think very clearly. All it's doing is clearing your thoughts. Pretty much, you have a sheet of paper and you're writing all these notes all over it, and you circle this thing and you circle that thing and you circle, and before you know it, this paper is like messy. I don't know if you've ever had a teacher in your life who like would write something on the board and then circle that 5 times and then circle something else 5 times and circle this other thing 5. But then if you walked into the room and saw that, you just like, what in the world is this? But because you were there the whole time, you kind of understood it. But our mind, we have all these things and we write in all these circles, and it's like a sheet of paper that tons and tons of stuff on it. So then we come back to it, oh wow, all of a sudden we're overwhelmed, and then we're constantly overwhelmed, and then next thing, overwhelmed. So when you meditate, you're literally erasing the sheet of paper. I mean, you wrote a lot on that piece of paper. So you got a big eraser, and you got to slowly erase it. And maybe you don't have enough time, so you're meditating in very small increments. But as time goes, and you're erasing the page in small increments, but as time goes on, you get better at erasing more of the paper at one given time. So soon you can erase the entire sheet of paper and have a very clear head so that you can go out into the world with clear thoughts. And that's really what meditation is supposed to do, and it's been helping me out a lot. So there are all these other causes that can causes for like anxiety and negative thoughts. But in my world, what I've been trying to do is decrease any kind of notification. So I've been getting on social media less, just posting less in general, because once I post, I typically scroll, checking email less. I turned all my notifications off for like texts, calls. So I'm taking all these external factors out so I can't be pinged in any direction, or I won't be on anyone else's time. I'm trying to spend more time in my own head and more time meditating and thinking. So one question I have for you: have you ever meditated before? If you haven't, why? If you have, how do you feel about it? Or how did you start meditating? I'm very curious. And also, if this video gave you any value, please like and subscribe to the channel. Cheers.